Hey y'all, good afternoon. Today we are doing the new book releases for the week of July 17th. I've totally said the wrong day and month in previous takes of this intro, so yeah, doing good, doing great. I'm Morgan. If this is your first time here, there will be names and things mispronounced for the descriptions probably, but still hopefully you'll find one that sounds awesome enough to go pick up or add to your TBR. There will be timestamps per genre, and you can find me on Instagram or Threads to find out more information about books and stuff and have conversations. We're going to be starting with fantasy again, and first up from the anticipated releases coming out is The Immortal Longings, just Immortal Longings by Chloe Gong. Every year, thousands in the kingdom of Talon will flock to its capital twin cities, Sanier, where the palace hosts a set of games. For those confident enough in their ability to jump between bodies, competitors across Sanier fight to the death to win unimaginable riches. Princess Kala, won't say the last name, lurks in hiding because 5 years ago she killed her whole family. Except her uncle, who is currently ruling the kingdom. Before King Cass's forces in Sand can catch her, she plans to finish the job and bring down the monarchy. Her reclusive uncle always greets the victor of the games, so if she wins, she gets her opportunity at last to kill him. Enter Anton Muska, an exiled aristocrat. His childhood love has lain in a coma since they were both ousted from the palace, and he's deep in debt trying to keep her alive. Thankfully, he's one of the best jumpers in the kingdom, flitting from body to body at will. His last chance at saving her is entering the games and winning. Kala finds both an unexpected alliance with Anton and help from King Cass's adopted son August, who wants to mend Talon's ills. But the three of them have very different goals. Even as Kala and Anton's partnership spirals into something all-consuming, before the games close, Kala must decide what she's playing for, her love or her kingdom. And the next fantasy is The Jacid Heir by Sarah Hashim. 10 years ago, the kingdom of Jacid burned. Its magic was outlawed, its royal family murdered. At least that's what Sylvia wants people to believe. The heir of Jacid has escaped the massacre, and she intends to stay hidden, especially from the armies of the Nazal that continue to hunt her people. But a moment of anger changes everything. When Aaron, the Nazal heir, tracks a group of Yasadi rebels to her village, Sylvia accidentally reveals her magic and captures his attention. Now, Sylvia is forced to make a deal with her greatest enemy, help him hunt the rebels in exchange for her life. A deadly games begin. Sylvia can't let Aaron, wow, I think I said it, I don't know, discover her identity, even as hatred shifts into something more between the heirs. And as the tides change around her, Sylvia will have to choose between the life she wants and the one she abandoned. The Scorched Kingdom is rising, and it needs a queen. So yeah, kind of, but at the same time, I will see how reviews turn out for that one. And then a sequel called The Blade of Dreams. Well, sequel can almost that is very confusing. It's The Blade of Dreams though by Daniel Abram. This one is what's the series called? Kithamar, the city of Kithamar. It's technically the city of Kithamar book too, but from what I have seen about it, it seems to actually take place in the past. Kithamar is the city of trade and wealth, an ancient city with a long, bloody history where countless thousands live and their stories endure. This is Gareth's. Gareth left is heir to one of Kithamar's most prominent merchant families. The path of his life was paved long before he was born. Learn the family trade, marry to secure wealthy in-laws, and inherit the business when the time is right. But to Gareth, a life chosen for him is no life at all. In one night, a chance meeting with an enigmatic stranger changes everything. He falls in love with a woman whose name he doesn't even know, and he will do anything to find her again. His search leads him down corridors and alleys that are best left unexplored, where ancient gods hide in the shadows, and every deal made has a dangerous edge. This book is probably going to be like the first one and be super duper atmospheric. So if that is what you love, you probably like the Kithamar books. Personally, it was hard to get through that book. It was too much. Okay, then we'll move into sci-fi, with the first one being a suspensey sci-fi. It's called After Death by Dean Koontz. Michael Mace, head of security at a top-secret research facility, opens his eyes in a makeshift morgue 24 hours following the event in which everyone perished, including him and his best friend, Shelby Shrewsbury. Having awakened with an extraordinary ability unlike anything he or anyone else has ever imagined, Michael is capable of being as elusive as a ghost. I'd hope it's closer exclusive. He sets out to honor his late friend by helping Nina Dowser and her son, John, whom Shelby greatly admired. Although what Michael does for Nina is life-changing, his actions also evoke the wrath of John's father, a member of one of the most violent street gangs in Los Angeles. But an even greater threat is descending the internal security agency's most vicious assassin, Durad Caliphus. Caliphus will stop at nothing to get his man. If Michael dies twice, he will not live a third time. I messed up so many words in that description, and I'm sorry to everyone. I am sorry. The next sci-fi, though, is called The Deep Sky by Yumi Kitse. It is a debut novel, too. They left Earth to save humanity. They'll have to save themselves first. It is the eve of Earth's environmental collapse. A single ship carries humanity's last hope. 80 elite graduates of a competitive program who will give birth to a generation of children in deep space. But halfway to a distant but livable planet, a lethal bomb kills 3 of the crew and knocks Phoenix off course. Asuka, the only surviving witness, is an immediate suspect. As the mystery unfolds on the ship, poignant flashbacks reveal how Asuka came to be picked for the mission. Despite struggling through training back on Earth, she was chosen to represent Japan, a country she only partly knows as a half-Japanese girl raised in America. But estranged from her mother back home, the Phoenix is all she has left. With the crew turning on each other, Asuka is determined to find the culprit before they all lose faith in the mission, or worse, the bomber strikes again. I put emphasis in the wrong parts there, and I might have mispronounced her name, as I said. Next, we have some YA, and the first one is a YA fantasy. This one is going to be the next book in the Avatar Chronicles books that they've had. This one is The Legacy of Yang Shen, still by F.C. Yi. And Yang Shen is the heir avatar, so it's 2 generations before Kyoshi, if you have read any of the Kyoshi books. And Kyoshi was 2 generations before Aang, if you've seen the show. I've only read the first Kyoshi book, and that was interesting. The other YA, though, is a YA mystery, which is All That's Left to Say by Emery Lord. This one looks at grief and the depths somebody's going to go to, because mystery. 1 year ago, Hannah McLaren's cousin Sophie, who was also her best friend and the person she loved most in the world, died of an overdose. Drowning in grief, Hannah became obsessed with one question: who gave Sophie those pills? Who is refusing to give her family the closure they deserve? Then she concocted a plan: enroll at her cousin's fancy private school with a new look and a mouthful of lies, and finally uncover the truth. But Hannah didn't expect all the lines to blur. She didn't expect Sophie's friends to be so complicated. She didn't expect to fall for her longtime enemy. Now she must choose to either let herself really mourn Sophie and move on, or see her search through to an explosive end, even if that means destroying herself. And now some romance books. The first one is called One Tough Cookie by Delise Torres. All cookies are made with love, even if 27-year-old Karina Cortez doesn't believe in the concept. For her, a simple life with no attachments is a good life. And her life is indeed good, even with her biggest accomplishment being passing the GED exam. Karina is able to secure an incredible and well-paying job at Singular Cookies, Inc., a small family-owned cookie manufacturing plant in Fort Pierce, Florida. And although the founders of the company treat her like family, Karina insists she doesn't need or want one. Not after her mother chose a man over her own daughter, pushing young Karina to move out and make it on her own. And she couldn't be happier with her single life until, unlike her friends, whose lives revolve around men. Work and play collide when she meets the company's hot new mechanic, Ian Felcino, who stirs up feelings she tends to avoid. Karina knows she shouldn't date him, but she's strong. She'll never turn pathetic like her friends, or especially her mom. And with a looming plant inspection and trying to break up the CEO's new romance, Karina has enough to distract herself. That last sentence didn't make enough sense, but okay. And then we have Pieces and Parts by Anne Maria Boyle. This one is part of a Story Hill Musicians series, but they all follow different couples, so it's one of those types of things. But it sounds so sweet. Are you living the life of your dreams, or are you simply playing it safe? Single dad Nick Malone is successfully juggling his roles as devoted father and traveling musician until his young son's unexpected request to join him on their tour threatens to topple their carefully constructed world. Now, Nick must find a tutor/nanny who can watch his son and keep up with the demands of touring with the band. Seems like finding a unicorn at the local pet shop might be more realistic. Former teacher Ivy Winston is floundering. Everyone thinks she's driven and organized woman with a crystal clear plan for her future, but it's all an illusion. Her latest and final degree was supposed to silence her doubts, but she's more unfulfilled and confused than ever. So when a tutoring opportunity arises, Ivy jumps on the chance to escape her life for a little while, hoping the break will help her figure out why her perfect plan is so wrong. As the tour bus journeys on, Nick and Ivy reluctantly realize that what started as a simple arrangement to help a little boy has changed into something far more complex. But can Nick move on from the painful memories of his past? Can Ivy confront her own doubts and fears to imagine a new future for herself? Can they agree that love is the best reason of all for a change of plans? Sweet. And a mystery. We haven't had one of those in a minute. The Bitter Past by Bruce Borges. Poor Beck is the sheriff in... Nope. That says Porter. Porter Beck is the sheriff in the high desert of Nevada. North of Las Vegas, born and raised there, he left to join the army where he worked in intelligence deep in the shadows and far-off places. Now he's back home doing the same lawman's job his father once did, before his father started to develop dementia. All is relatively quiet in this corner of the world until an old retired FBI agent is found killed. He was brutally tortured before he was killed, and clues at the scene point to a mystery dating back to the early days of the nuclear age. If that wasn't strange enough, a current FBI agent shows up to help Beck's investigation. In a case that unfolds in the past, the 1950s, and the present, it seems that a Russian spy infiltrated the nuclear testing site, and now someone is looking for that long ago, all but forgotten person who holds the key to what happened then and the deadly goings-on now. Okay. And a very different one for us. We have a horror book. It's called Camp Damascus by Chuck Tingle. What is that? It's a very short description too. Super short description. Welcome to Neverton, Montana, home to a God-fearing community with a heart of gold. Nestled high up in the mountains is Camp Damascus, the self-proclaimed most effective gay conversion camp in the country. Here, a life free from sin awaits, but the secret behind that success is anything but holy, and they'll scare you straight to hell. That's it. Which, I guess for horror and things like this, it does need to be a shorter description to not give things away so much. Our next is thriller called Silver Nitrate by Sylvia Moreno Garcia. I do believe she's the one who wrote Mexican Gothic, so it might be horror-y thriller type thing there. Montserrat has always been overlooked. She's a talented sound editor, but she's left out of the boys club running the film industry in the 90s Mexico City. And she's all but invisible to her best friend Tristan, a charming but faded soap opera star, though she's been in love with him since childhood. When Tristan discovers his new neighbor is occult horror director Abel Otero, the legendary orator claims he can change their lives, even if his tale of a Nazi occultist imbuing magic into a highly volatile silver nitrate stock sounds like sheer fantasy. The magic film was never finished, which is why Otero swears his career vanished overnight. He is cursed. Now the director wants Montserrat and Tristan to help him shoot the missing scene and lift the curse, but Montserrat soon notices a dark presence following her, and Tristan begins seeing the ghost of his ex-girlfriend. As they work together to unravel the mystery of the film, an obscure occultist who once roamed their city, Montserrat and Tristan may find that sorcerers and magic are not only the stuff of movies. That was another one where words were hard. Our last book for the week is a psychological suspense called How Can I Help You by Laura Sims. No one knows Margot's real name. Her colleagues and patrons at a small-town public library only know her middle-aged normalcy, congeniality, and charm. They have no reason to suspect that she is, in fact, a former nurse with a trail of countless premature deaths in her wake. She has turned a new page, so to speak, and the library is her sanctuary, a place to quell old urges. That is, at least until Patricia, a recent graduate and failed novelist, joins the library staff. Patricia quickly notices Margot's subtle, sinister edge and watches her carefully. Sinister edge, and really nobody would have picked up on that? Whatever. When a patron's death in the library bathroom gives her a hint of Margot's mysterious past, Patricia can't resist digging deeper, even as this new fixation becomes all-consuming. I doubt it was her fault that he died in the bathroom, because that's too close to what then people would, connect dots possibly. But it still sounds interesting. And it's supposed to be exploring the dark side of human nature and the dangerous pull of artistic obsession as these transfixing dual female narrators hurtle towards a stunning climax. So we're going to see from both of them. Okay. That's all for this week. Maybe you found something new that you want to go pick up, or at least add to your TBR list. If you enjoyed this video though, you can go check out some of my other ones, like the June wrap-up. It finally came out, yep, or the Fairy Loot unboxing, any of the other videos. And if you want to see more new releases, then subscribe so you can come back for next week's new releases and review videos. Thank you so much for being here. I hope you're having a great day and finding something awesome to read. Bye guys.